Okay. So we're doing number 6 on this page. So we have these two circles here. So I'll circle this one in red. And I'll circle this one in blue, the smaller circle. So we're trying to figure out what the shaded region is. So basically what's happening is this red circle, but there's this hole in the middle. So you want to subtract the area of the small circle out of the area of the big circle. So how are we going to do that? So first, why don't we find the area of the big circle? So what is the radius in total of the big circle? Is it 13? Is it 7? Or is it something else? Anyone have an idea?
Something else, right?
Yeah, it's something else. It's 13 plus 7. So our radius is 20 in this case. Now the area for a circle is pi r squared. R in this case is 20. The whole line is 20. So 20 squared pi. And that's going to be 400 pi. I'm going to leave it as 400 pi right now because you'll see what I'm going to do with that. But that's the area of the big circle, the circle I made in red. Okay? Now, let's do the small circle. The small circle is still the same formula. But what is the radius of the small circle here?
7.
Just 7. Good. So it's going to be 7 squared pi. So that's 49 pi. Okay? Now, if I'm taking the big red circle and removing the little blue circle, what can I do mathematically to represent removing something? There's 4 operations: adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. What operation would represent me removing it?
Divide.
Divide would be cutting it into small pieces or equal pieces.
Subtract.
So it's going to be subtract. So what I'm going to do is take the area of the big circle, which is 400 pi, minus the area of the small circle, 49 pi. The reason I didn't check it to decimal is because if they both have pi, it'll be a little easier to subtract because then you could just subtract the numbers in front. Kind of like a variable. If it's 400x minus 49x, you could combine like terms. If you turn it to decimal, that'll be fine. You're going to be okay, and you'll still get the same answer as I do. So this is going to be 351 pi. Okay, from there, we just go to our calculator. So 351, and I'm going to times that by 3.14. So I end up getting 1,102.14 equals the area of the shaded region. And let's just look back here. This is number 6, I believe. They rounded to 100.3. That's fine. It depends how you round your circles, but
If I rounded it to 1,102, would that be fine?
that'd be fine. You should be only like off by like 1 unit. So like 1. You shouldn't be off by like 10. Like being off by 10 is a problem.
I did like 400 pi and I got like 1,256. And then I did 49 pi and then I got whatever. And then I like subtracted those. And I got
Yeah, I did what Callie did.
And you got the same-ish answer?
Yeah.
Same exact answer.
Okay, yeah, you should be getting the same answer. Yeah, because you could just treat the pi as a variable, essentially. Like you're just combining like terms there in case.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 7. Number 7, I looked at it and I'm like, they just gave unnecessary information. Remember, what are we looking for? We're looking for the area of the shaded region. So just this little circle.
So we could forget like the 108 and the 8.
Yeah, it turns out it's not necessary. If they reversed the question, it would be necessary, but it doesn't matter in this case. So here, this circle, what's the radius of the blue circle?
4.
4. So the area should be pi, and the radius is 4, so 4 squared. So that's 16 pi. And then 16 pi, just type that in the calculator. 16 times 3.14, 50.24, 50.27. Yeah, that's the same thing. So 50.24.
That one was so easy.
Yeah, that one is. I don't get why they drew it like this, but whatever. I guess
Confuse
to
us.
throw you off a little bit. I won't try to do something like that. What did I just say the number was? 50.24.
That one was easy.
Yeah, it was easy. All right. Should
Do
we go on to quiz
the
2?
next
Yeah,
one.
next 3.
Okay, let's go to quiz 2 then. I'll keep this up while I open the next quiz. So quiz 2, print, bigot. I'll erase this in 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. So I think I said just 1, 2, 3. I imagine, right? Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's no way you can do that. All right. So 1, 2, and 3. Let's find the area of a regular polygon. Let's talk about the formula first. The formula for an area of the regular polygon is 1/2. S is how big each side is. A is how big the apothem is. And N is the number of sides. So we need 3 separate variables in order to do this. So maybe one way we could do this is just point out all our variables before we even try to solve. Okay, so we got S, A, and N. Now, let's see, the number of sides are usually, you could just count. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So N is 8 in this case, because there's 8 sides. Now, let's see, let's go Callie. Callie, which one of these 2 lines is the apothem? Is it 9.2 feet or 10 feet?
9.2.
Good, and how do you know it's 9.2?
Because it like goes straight up. Like
Good,
from the
and you could, yeah, it goes straight up. And you could also tell from the right angle here, okay? And it's coming from the middle of the side. This 10-foot, we will refer to as the radius of the regular polygon because it goes to the corner. Corner becomes the radius, middle becomes the apothem. But we don't know what our S is. We don't know how big this side is. Like, we don't know how large this is. But this is a right triangle. So Huvi, what starts with a P, a type of theorem that we could find the side of a right triangle?
Pythagorean theorem.
Good, the Pythagorean theorem. So let's use the Pythagorean theorem to solve our equation. Now, if you don't remember, it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find this missing piece. And remember, technically, you're only finding this half. So at the end, we're going to have to double it. But let's first find this half right here. I'll call this b, okay? So a squared, that's 9.2 squared, plus b squared equals 10 squared.
10 squared.
So that's 100. And then we're going to subtract it because we're going to subtract 9.2 squared on both sides. 9.2 squared. Whatever 9.2 squared is, I'll put it in the calculator right now, though. This thing's kind of overlapping the calculator, but it's fine. All right, so 100 minus, I'll just put 9.2 squared like this.
84.64.
Why did you put 10 squared?
10 squared is the hypotenuse of the right triangle here. So that's c squared.
So then why did you subtract? So then what did you do?
Oh, so then I subtract. So I know 10 squared is 100. So I just wrote 100. And then you're supposed to subtract 9.2 squared on both sides to get b squared by itself, you know? So minus 9.2 squared. I don't know what 9.2 squared is offhand. So
84.64.
So that's 9.2 squared?
Yeah.
Good. So I just did it. So then I just subtracted 9.2 squared. So now I already have my difference. But if you just subtract what you just said, 84 point, it looks like 64.
I got that. Now
Square
Okay.
root.
Yeah, so you got 15.36. So let me just write that down. So you got 15.36. But we didn't find b. We found what b squared is. So what do we have to do to both sides? Callie, what do we have to do to both sides to get rid of that?
square both sides.
Square it will make it bigger again. So what's the opposite of squaring?
like the stat, yeah. I
Yeah,
thought
this-
that's what it's called.
It's called square root, just to make sure, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the square root, so we're going to have to find the square root of 15.36. So in Google, I think you could just put answer. Do that. So I got 3 point all this. I'm just going to round it to 3.92. Let's go to 2 decimal points. So 3.92. 9.
So 3.92 is what S equals?
No, 3.92 is just this little piece here, Callie. It's between here and here.
So how do you find S with that information?
Well, if
You
this
multiply
right
by
here
2.
is good, Zach. If this right here is half of the side, this also is 3.92. So you just double it or times it by 2.
So it's 7.84.
Good, 7.84. Now we
And
have,
that's S.
what's up?
That's S.
That's S, yeah. So now we have everything we need. So we literally just put it in our calculator, 1/2 times 7.84 times 9.2 times 8. So plug that all in for me. And did we
Wait,
get, what did you guys get? I just want to make sure.
288.5.
Yeah, I got that.
Wait,
Oh,
I'm
so
doing it.
288.5? Okay.
Yeah.
So 288.5. I guess I could just type into my calculator myself, so we could just make sure. But that's how you do that first one. So usually if you got the apothem, it's really easy, but now we have to find at least one of these things.
At 288.5.
Good.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and they rounded that. All right. So let's go to the next one. I'm going to clear up my drawings in 3, 2, 1. Number 2. So number 2, they are giving me a situation like this. They give me, Huvi, what is this type of line here?
That line's the radius.
Good. And they give me a side length. So again, let's identify what we need. We need how big a side is. We need the apothem. And we need the number of sides. Number of sides are pretty easy. That's 5. They give us how big the side is 17.6. But now we need the apothem. And we don't have the apothem here, so we're going to have to draw it in. Now, apothem, by definition, is always from the middle of the side, and is always a right triangle, okay? If this whole thing is 17.6, what's the distance between here and here? It's always in the middle, so we know it's going to be
8.8.
good. So it should be 8.8. Yeah, that's right. So this little piece is 8.8. So now we're looking for the apothem. We're going to have to use again something from chapter 7, which is the Pythagorean theorem. So we got a squared. I just called a for the apothem. Doesn't matter if you call it a or b. Plus 8.6 squared equals the hypotenuse is the one across the right triangle. So that's 15, or the right angle, I'm sorry. So that's 15 in this one. So 15 squared.
Wait, wasn't it 8.8, not 8.6?
Oh, yes, it is. I wrote 8.6. I don't know why, though. There you go. Okay.
Wait,
So
is that the equation to find the apothem?
we're going to use this to find the apothem, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let me type it into my calculator. So 15 squared.
Wait,
And I know what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to subtract 8.8 squared.
What's 8.8?
What is 8.8? 8.8. Let me just type this down so I have it. 147.56. 8.8 is half of the side because when you make this right triangle, it cuts it in half. So it's the distance, and I'll draw in yellow, from here to here. So it's just half of whatever this is. Remember from the last question, we had to double the 1 point something. So now we're going to half it because we have the whole thing. So 147.56 is my a squared. And then we're just going to square root both sides. So I'll just take my calculator again. So square root that number. And I get 12.15. I rounded 12.15. So I'll write it here. So A equals 12.15.
And you have to multiply that by 2?
No, not this one, because this one, you just get the whole line.
Oh, so that's the apothem?
So that's just straight the apothem. Okay? So that right here is straight the apothem. So we got 12.15. Now we just slap it all into the equation. 1/2 times 17.6 times 12.15 times 5. And that's a simple typing into the calculator. 0.5 times.
Thank you for your help. I just have a Zoom now, but I really get it now.
Okay, I'm happy to hear. I'm sorry, yeah, I basically started late. So if you guys have Zooms and you need to go to another classroom, that's fine. I can't actually hold you off like that. That would be wrong with me. But the last one is 534.6. So that's 534.6 should be your final answer.
And then number 3 would be the exact same way.
It will be the same thing for number 2, yeah. Okay?
Can we do number 3 together quick?
Sure. I'm going to go quick, though. I'm not going to step every step. So
No, it's fine.
Okay. So we need the side, the apothem, the number of sides. Number of sides is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The side length is 16. The apothem, we don't know what it is, so we got to make the right triangle. So 16 is my radius or my hypotenuse. This is going to be 8. So I know it's going to be a squared plus 8 squared equals 16 squared. So we're going to subtract 16 squared from 8 squared to get a squared. So let's do that quickly. 16 squared minus 8 squared. So that's 192, but I need the square root of 192. And that's 13.86. So 18 point. So 1a squared end up equaling 192. And then a should be, let me just look at it again, I literally forgot. 13.85. So 13.85 is my apothem. I don't need to cut it in half. I found the whole apothem like that. So type that all into the calculator for your equation. So that's, let's look at it. That's 1/2 times 16 times 13.85 times the number of sides, which was 6. That's 664.8. And then let's see.
That's the answer.
Number 3, 665.1 in the 1 point off range. So that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
No
you so
problem.
much.
Hey, no problem. Sorry for holding you guys late.
It's okay, thank you.
No problem. Daniel, you in here?
Yeah. I'm doing question 13 on the other homework, and I keep getting the wrong answer.
Okay, let's just do it together then. Number 13 or 14?
13. No, 14. 14. My
Okay.
bad.
Yeah, all right. So let's open it up. All right. So number 14, right? Okay, so 14, what is this 2 root 3? Tell me what this 2 root 3 is.
The apothem.
The apothem, good. So the formula is 1/2 the size of the side, the apothem, and the number of sides.
Yeah.
Okay. How many sides does this shape have?
3.
So that's 3. Well, what's the apothem?
It's 3.46, but it's 2 square root 3.
Good. So 3.46. I'll just take it 2 decimal points. And
Yeah.
how long is the side?
Well, I got the side, like the half of it was 9.74, but then the other half would be that times 2 because that's only half of it.
Whoa, why are you getting half for that?
Because I don't know.
You already have the apothem, and you already have the side length. So you don't have to do that specialness. In these type of questions, 15 and 16, you need to find it.
Oh, 12 is the side length. For some reason, I got that it was 9.74 when I split it.
You made this a right triangle, but you don't need to do that. You already know this.
Oh.
And you don't know what the radius is, so you can't even, you actually can't solve it. So then you just take 12 because they give you 12. This question, I guess, was too easy for you because it's like they just give you the information. You don't have to find anything in this one. Okay? 15 and 16 were you able to do though? Because 15 and 16, 15 and 16 you have to do work. 14, they set it up for you.
Yeah, I got those.
Okay.
Damn, that's annoying.
It's fine. You were overthinking. That's the issue. All right. Do you have any more questions on this?
It to me. Thank you.
No problem, man. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Let's end the meeting.